Is, I think, the second ever Eagle segment. Eagle, I come, I swoop down, and I talk about one very specific issue in detail, but not for that long, hopefully. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about Stephen A. Smith's recent comments about Megan Thee Stallion. Let's go. Let me share out the live stream. Kala ni be ha ha. Kala kanu berkani be baba. Berkani be karani be ha ha. Aboom madio madio he hey ha ha. Aboom madio madio he hey ha ha. Ooh. Kala kanu karaki ke kaka. Abumo kike ka kara ha ha. Kala kanu kara kara tata. Kara tenu na karata. Abum enu amadio ha. Abum amadio madio he he ha ha. Abum amadio ha nive ha ha. Amadio ha mara burka kaka. Abum kala kanu kike kaka. Kala kanu karu kike neba ka. Sanso nebeze kaka. Sanso neba mara eze neba. Abum eze wara kalu aka. Eze wara kalakanu neba. Eze wara kalakanu monecha. Abum amadiu madiu ha 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 ha. Amadiu ha necha neba. Hayana. Hayana. Kalakanu karaki ke kaka. Abum amadiu madiu he hey ha ha. Abum amadiu madiu he hey ha ha. Kalakanu kara he hey ha ha. Abum amadiu madiu he hey ha ha. Abum amadiu madiu he hey ha. Kalakanu kara he hey ha ha. Abum amadiu madiu he hey ha ha. Kalakanu kara nele ha ha. Kalakanu mara nele ha ha. Abum amadiu madiu he hey ha ha. Kalakanu kara nive ha ha. Abum amadiu madiu he hey ha ha. Abum amadiu nive ya. Amadio ha mara amunike. Bigger come jigger amunike na ba. Aname ba 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 be. Aboom ba 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 be. Aboom kamalu ka 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 ka. Kala kanu kare noche ne ba. Aboom kwasha mamadi yo ha. Aboom kwasha aboom kike kaka. Aboom kike kike kaka kaka. Aboom amunike kala hakana. Hayana. Kabrunam Nagaha Abum Oga Madyoha Oga Mechabu Kike Kaka Abu Masato Sato Sato Kaka Abu Incredibile Kaka Come Jide Omani Ke Neba Abum Haya Na Prayer is a process that involves motion. What am I doing here? I'm getting myself together. I'm gathering energy from the universe. And I'm shooting out energy to advance my goals. Let's go. All right. Let me get into it. Thank you to the new people. Or thank you to my returning viewers, rather. Thank you also to the new people. To the new people, let me give you two pieces of information quickly to expand this greeting so that you understand who I am better. First, my government name is CHIMAOGE Aka Maoge. And I see if registered a viewer. Thank you very much. Every view is a blessing. And thank you to everyone watching this in the future. Live streams are not just for now, they're forever. Anyway, second, my astrological, I forget the name of the placement. Let me say it like this. On the relevant point in my astrological chart, I am Scorpio descendant. Let's move. Kalakanu karaki ha ha. Kalakanu karaki ha ha. Abuma mani mani he ha ha. Abuma mani berkani be ha ha. Abuma mani kalakanu ne ba. Abuma nyangu ga ga ga. Kalakanu karaki ha ha. Kalakanu mani be ha ha. Abum berkani be ka ka. Abum berkani be ka 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 ka. Abum berkani boki ke kaka. Kala kanu karunoki ke kaka. One more thing I want to add. Kabrunam no goha. I want to take a moment here to just say this. Astrology is a good starting point for learning about metaphysics in the world today, but it's not perfect. One aspect of it that is not perfect is timing, as in clock timing, as in, say, giving someone astrological signs based on whether or not they were born at 12 a.m. versus 1 a.m. It's not perfect. One thing I've found is that even though, I'll just say it like this, even though I would like even more detail about the time I was born, because I know the time I was born, but even though I'd like even more detail on that, just to potentially get more information, it's not really relevant because the time based signs on my chart that I know about that stand out to me, both my experience, my feelings, and my ancestors, and especially my relatives who passed away. Shout out to my mother's mothers and father's fathers. All right, my deceased homies. Anyone in your gene pool who's deceased is one of your anyway. Um, they've all confirmed to me it's true. So we have to keep in mind one thing that I'm about to reveal here. Because again, what we call astrology is one piece of larger metaphysical information about how people's being is shaped by their destiny, this life, and their birth. All right, let me move. Abuma paran kosha ki ke kaka. Abuma paraya kosha he he ha ha. Abuma paraya kosha ni ve ha ha. Abuma paraya pa 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 pa. Abuma paraya kosha ba 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 ba. Abuma paraya kosha ka 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 ka. Hiya na boom hiya na abuma paraya kosha ni ve ha ha. Abuma paraya kosha ni me ha ha. Abuma paraya kosha ni ve kaka. Abuma Paria Culture Ka 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 Ka. Yes. But what I'm revealing here, and I'm just moving a bit, just, because I don't want to always stand in front of the screen, and also, I think it makes my singing interesting. But one thing I want to reveal here is that the spirits that shape our destiny, and fun fact, you are one of the spirits that shaped your own destiny, as in your life in the spirit world before you reincarnate, as well as your past life, because those are different. Both pick aspects of you. Again, your vehicle for them, but you are them. Anyway, let me move again. Abuma paria kacha he hey ha ha. Abuma paria kacha ni me ha ha. Abuma mani mani he hey 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 ha. Abuma mani mani ni ve ha ha. Kalakanu kare ni ve ha ha. Nama ka 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 ka. Abum nama karaya. Abum nama karaya ka ka ka. Abum nama karaya ka ka ka. Abum nama karaya ka ka ka. Kala kanu kare ni be ha ha. Abum madi madi hi he ha ha. Kala kanu kare ni be ha ha. Abum madi madi hi he ha ha. Abum madi madi hi he ha ha. Sansone beze ne meze ne ma. Sansone beze bua mandi yoha. Sansone beze bua kike kaka. Sansone beze ne susa. Yes, but anyway, as I'm saying, the spirits that shape our destiny have flexibility in assigning certain aspects of our person to us. So, for example, things like the rising sign, even though there's a general spread of what has to be done, apparently, if it fits someone's being, the ancestors can just give them equality. For example, one thing they just told me is that every life, I am what people call a Taurus ascendant, or my rising sign is Taurus. Taurus, in my language, is Nama, the father of knowledge. That is the spirit behind what we call the cow. The cow is his category of life. The way I like to say that is Anamacha Nama, because you see, Nama's being is Oshun, but at the same time, Nama is a man. And a lot of the archetypes of the strongest men out there are really Nama. So I always shine out his idea, even though I'm the god of thunder. But it's weird to say even though, because after Oshun, the second part of Nama's being is Kala Kanu. Don't get me wrong. Oshun, aka Venus, aka Aphrodite, is by far primarily what makes up Nama's being. But at the same time, Nama is clearly a man, and when he's doing things, because most of the time he's in his being vibing, but when he's doing things, his being radiates the god of thunder. Let's go. Kalakanu Kalanibe. Kalakanu de Shabuka Kaka. Kalakanu Cherekana Ba. Nama Nama Nama. Nama Nama Nama. Abum Nama Kaka Kaka. Another name for Nama is the growl. Yes. Any animal that growls is channeling Nama, the father of knowledge. Yes. He's also a version of the father of the god of thunder. As in the father of the god of thunder, Aquarius, you can also call him Namadioha, goes through a cycle. His Awela, his final form, is actually Nama. Kalakana Karenibe. Kalakana Karenibe. The father of knowledge, the god of beef. Nama's the god of beef. Nama's the god of beef. I am the god of beef. I am the god chief. I am the god of beef. Ba 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 ba. I am the god of beef. Pa 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 pa. Abum nama nama ka 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 ka. Nama bukala kanu mone mi ha. 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 Nama 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 ka 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 ka. Nama 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 ka 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 ka. Nama na shu ka. Biko nama ka. Nama nama ka 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 ka. Nama 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 ka 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 ka. Nama nama ka 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 ka. Nama na bese nama na bese. Yes. My ancestors have decided to tell me a lot about Nama. That's interesting. I think I should say something now. Let me say two things. Of course, the subject will be Stephen A. Smith. Let's see how it dovetails. First, Nama, the father of knowledge, the cow, the god of beef. Yes, it's another name they just revealed to me. Taurus loves combat. And I'll keep it at that. I didn't know that. Obviously, cows, as we call them in English, again, I think, well, let's just say that. Maybe that name is fine. Cows, as we call them in English, do um, grow long horns and butt heads to fight. But I didn't know they liked it. I mean, I just thought it was another thing they could do, and I know exactly everything that went into that behavior. But it is what it is. So that's one thing they're telling me now. Because when I see Nama in my mind's eye, I often see him. Because one, you have to keep in mind these saints. And I know I'm going to talk about something worldly, but I just got a lot of spiritual downloads. So the ancestors want to share some stuff. These saints do not always stay in their main category of existence. Like for example, Nama is almost not almost never. Nama is oftentimes, or let's say it like this. Maybe let me give fact two. Nama is usually in suspended animation, but he's interacting with the universe with his thoughts. But when he finally is able to act, that's the god of thunder. So when he's acting, you see, let me see if I can explain this. When I say I'm getting information in real time, it's a combination of, let me say this, it's a combination of perceiving words in my mind, which I know are communications from spirits, and also seeing, um, I'll just say seeing images, moving images in my mind's eye. And that's how I want to describe it. I don't know if the word visions will communicate it to people. Because when I think of vision, I think of like, the light comes down and then you just see everything. Maybe one day that'll happen to me, but that I've never really had a vision, you see. Let me move. Kalakanu karendi Nama nama ka 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 ka. Abu nama nama he hey ha ha. Abu nama nama he hey ha ha. Abu nama nama he hey ha ha. Nama 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 ba 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 be. Nama 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 ka 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 ka. Abu nama ka shaki ke ka ka. Abu nama nama he hey ha ha. Abu nama nama he hey ha ha. Abu nama karani ve ha ha. Abum nama berkeni be kaka. Abum nama nama ba 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 be. Abum nama nama ka 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 ka. Nama tori even eve kaka. Abum nama nama he he ha ha. Abum nama berkeni be kaka. Abum nama nama he he ha ha. Ba ba be. Abum nama nama he he ha ha. Abum nama kareni be ha ha. Abum nama mone mi ve no ba. Abum nama bua no ba ba. Abum nama nama ni he ha ha. Abum nama nama hi he ha ha. Nama kala kana ni ve ha ha. Nama kala kana hi he ha ha. I'm learning a lot about Taurus. I'll be honest, it kind of disturbs me, but my ancestors tell me it disturbs me less than it would basically any other person. Hmm. Let me make it clear. I'm not saying that Taurus is evil. He's not. He's the opposite. He's a very big person. It's just he relishes in combat and conflict on a level that uh, I do not. At least in a way, I do not. Or perhaps the way the story is being transmitted to me, it just comes off different in his realm. Because keep in mind, he's not operating as an exact person like us in this world. Well, I mean, he's not literally one of us. Put a pin in that. I'm thinking of how to describe it. Well, I think there'll be multiple phases to this. You know what? I'm learning about this segment. I think my ancestors like to use this segment as a time to just drop information on me, see how I react. And I just saw 2727. 27 is the number of purgatory. Apparently, Nama likes to be there, but not because he's evil. He's to train the people there. Yes. Kaburnam Nogoha. They just said this. Another name for Taurus is Terminator. Part of the reason everyone must eat beef, everyone must eat Nama, is so that when they reincarnate as Onyeze, because any animal you eat, you have to eat them as Onyala. Part of the reason we have to eat them is so they when they reincarnate as a leader person, they don't get too arrogant. Let's move. I'm back now. Forgive me. I'm thinking a lot. Looks like this segment, my ancestors like to use it to talk to me. They've given me some big knowledge. Let me just relate it back to the subject. Stephen A. Smith, what I title it? Stephen A. Smith says that Megan the Stallion should have kept quiet about Klay. I wanted to title it Stephen A. Smith says that Meg the Stallion should have kept quiet about her mistreatment by Klay Thompson, but I couldn't fit it all. Anyway, he made a long video. A lot of people have seen it. He really went on a rant, was saying a lot of nonsense. But I just want to say two things. One, and I don't say this lightly, okay, I'm not a guy who has much use for the concept of humility, but at the same time, there are people out there who need to be taken down a peg. I think Stephen A. Smith is one. How does that relate to what I said about Nama? As I was saying, Nama can be arrogant. You see, personality archetypes are very complicated. I'm not going to personality archetype Stephen A. Smith in terms of, the E-head, the things. I've never met him. That would be irresponsible. I mean, I know I've done it with some people before. There are people I've mentioned before who have the what I'll call the Shango character trait. But you know, with all due respect, that character trait is a lot easier to see, and then it's really a compliment to anyone if you have the Shango character trait. If I tell someone they're a god of thunder gone wrong, I'm really telling them to wake up. They have the world at their feet. Let me move. So I'm just gonna talk about this on a rolling basis. Not all the things are equal. Not all people are equal, but like all people are beyond the baseline level of personhood natu matu, as in they should be respected beyond a certain high point if they follow their idea in this world. Okay, another word for person is major corporation. We don't take people seriously enough. Okay, I would move, but I've done it a lot. Um, so as soon as someone's a person, if they're not evil, I mean, that's big. Most of the things and beings in this universe are not people, and I'll leave it at that. But once you get beyond that, there's different levels of things, and there are certain aspects of personhood and beinghood that can be unflattering. And also, there are just certain things that are less relevant to say in public without proper examination. And I just have to admit, a lot of this is because in the world today, we don't have proper technology and knowledge. In a world with proper technology and knowledge, everyone's personality is known, at least 99%. If someone wants to hide one small thing, that's probably a sign they have a certain personality trait. Maybe they have Oreo, the dreaded mixer. But anyway, um, you know, I just say all that to say that you know while I don't take it lightly to say what I think someone's personality archetype is, and I maintain I have the ability to know at least up to a certain point. Okay, because I get information. I don't just do it lightly, or hope I'm not mixing up what I'm saying. I don't, take it lightly, but at the same time, I don't think it's bad to say. Really, I think we need to grow the culture of being able to reasonably speculate on what people's personality archetypes are. And I'll leave it at that. But the reason I'm going into this is that based upon what my ancestors have told me in terms of Stephen A. Smith's behavior, and I want to say behavior, I'm not talking about his self thing because I'm not gonna say I know that. But in terms of his behavior, he behaves like Nama when he's off. So Nama has the ability to joan on everyone and win, but when he loses, everyone piles up on him. But if he over jones on people, he ends up isolated and he starts saying crazy things. I think Stephen A. Smith really has just made a career out of joning on people. And well, this is where I have to move off the screen. Let me move. I'm gonna turn off the screen for a second, but I'm still here moving. Kalakanu karenive ha ha. Kalakanu karenive baba. Abu mamadiu madiu he he ha ha. Abu mamadiu madiu he he ha ha. Abu mamadiu hanime ya. Kalakanu mere ugo neba. Abu mugoji mone goji gaga. Abu mugoji goji gaga gaga. Abu mugoji goji he he ha ha. Abu mugoji goji gaga gaga. Abu mugoji goji gaga gaga. Kalakanu kare ni be ha ha. 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 Abu mamadi umadi he he ha ha. Ball ball ben, ball 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 ben, ball ball ben, ball 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 ben. Kalakanu kare ni be ha ha. Abu mamadi umadi he ha ha. Abu mamadi umadi he ha ha. Well, it's a little different what I planned anyway. Uh, just moving. Kabrinam Nogoha. Let me share the stream again. My ancestors giving they want me to move. No, they're saying they talk. Let me say the other thing. So Stephen A. Okay, let me finish up my point. Stephen A. Smith. Well, let me just share this. Let me just put a cow here now. And let's start the show. Kalakanu karani beha. Abuma madiu madiu he he ha ha. Abuma madiu madiu he he ha ha. Abuma madiu hani beya. Abuma madiu madiu he he ha ha. Agu mere nama kaka kaka. Agu mere nama kaka kaka. Abum nama nama kaka kaka. Kalakanu karani ha ha. Abum nama nama ka 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 ka. Abum nama nishi ka 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 ka. Abum kalakanu kike ka ka. Abum kalakanu nive ha ha. Abum eva madiyo ha ha ha. Kalakanu kare nive ha ha. Kalakanu kare nive ha ha. Abum madiyo madiyo hi he ha ha. Okay, so anyway, Stephen A. Smith has built a career of joning on people, and I don't think that's good. It's not that he doesn't have valid points, and it's not that he can't be entertaining to watch, but I think it's just the joning percentage of what he does is too high. Um it's just too high. And I'll leave it at that. And I think because of that, he's just in a corner and he doesn't know how it looks and he doesn't have anyone advising him. And I'll leave it at that. And we if you disagree, we could go into detail about it somehow. Anyway, two, and this is related because I talked about how that feeds isolation. Stephen A. Smith, and I don't say this lightly at all. I really don't say this lightly at all. I'll just start speaking. Stephen A. Smith needs to get his romantic life in order. And I say that because what he said about Megan the Stallion was very clearly deviant in that manner. And I'm not going to say much, but I'll just say this. You can't go on and on about how attracted you are to a woman long distance. I mean, he said he'd never met her, but whatever. And then talk about how she was wrong and specifically she should have kept quiet about mistreatment. That is just deviant psychology. Let me move. Amadio ha he he ha ha ha. Amadio ha he he ha ha ha. Abu Amadio Amadio he he ha ha. Abu Amadio Amadio he he ha ha. Abu Amadio Amadio he he ha ha. So anyway, I made my point about Stephen A. Smith. He needs to calm down, and really get himself in check. And other people need to check him more. I seen people have, but there's a lot of those male individuals I've been talking about who are just moving as one group. Um, yeah. Anyway, thinking more about Nama. Yeah. Anyway, or the ancestors done talking to me. Anyway, I'm experimenting with this segment. It looks like I should leave this up. If you wanna, I'll just use this phrase because the ancestors did. Make an offering to me. You can do it now. Just patronize my business. But just read the headline and think about it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm doing some personal stuff here. Ooh, ancestors talking to me a lot. Kala kanu karani be ha ha. Kala kanu berkani be kaka. Kala kanu karani be ha ha. Abu netu kaka kaka. Abu netu netu kaka kaka. Netu dua madyuha. Netu dua kikeka. Kala kanu karani be ha ha. Kala kanu berkani be kaka. Kala kanu karani be ha ha. Abu madu madu hiye ha ha. Abu madu madu hiye ha ha. Nama Neptune kaka kaka. Nama Neptune one kita. Abu nama nama kaka kaka. Abu nama kare one kita. Abu nama one kaka. Abu nama nama kaka kaka. Kala kanu kare madi yuha. Kala kanu kare bo be. Kala kanu kare ni be ha ha. Kala kanu kaka kike kaka. Kala kanu kike ha. Abu Namaju ha. Abu Moki Keka. Hoo Abu Kaka Kaka. Abu Momini Keka Karayanua. Abu Makaraka Kaka Kaka. Abu Makaraka no Kikeya. Ha. 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 Excuse me. Kalakanu bua madio ha. No, kalakanu bua madio ha. Abuma madio ha ga ga ga. Nama kalakanu ka 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 ka. What am I saying? Nama, the father of knowledge, is, and more than that, booms out, the greatest man alive. The saying is. Nambu kalakanu, and Nama is Taurus, the cow. Apparently, you can also call him Terminator. Anyway, Nambu kalakanu ka 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 ka. Nambu kalakanu karaya. You can also call him the god of beef. Well, thank you to all of you watching. But as I do this segment, I realize it's really for me. I also want to give the people something, so I put up the headline. But um, I think it's one just to give uh, myself a space to receive things. Yes, and really that's it. So it looks like I receive things from the living. I receive things from those who are passed away. And those who are passed away want to talk. Yes. Anyway, that's what's going on here. This is interesting. Kala kanu karaoke ke kaka abuma madio madio he hey ha ha abuma lajide lajide di de da da abuma lajide majide ha 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 kala kanu karaoke ke kaka abuma madio madio he hey ha abuma nama 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 kaka abuma nama nama he hey ha abuma nama neke zenu ha abuma nama neke zenu Abum nama nama ka 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 ka. Abum kana ma ka ka ka. Naman ki bo nama ka. Alakan Muhammadiya. Abum Muhammadiya ba ba be. Abum Muhammadiya pa pa pe. Abum Muhammadiya in keze. Kalakan nemezima. Abum is what a kalaka. Abum is what a kala no kige. Kalakanu karanive ha ha. Kalakanu buo kike kaka. Abumo kike no monike na ba. Abuma kunuba call ke. Anyway, I'm gonna check out now, but thank you very much. See you next time. Kalakanu.